You're tuned into the Awakening Zone Radio Network, your news and information source for empowered spiritual awakening.
Welcome to the Animal Code with Voight. Discover the secret code to communicating with your animal friends, unveiling the intrigue and mystery surrounding their hidden language. And now, here's your host, animal communicator Voight.
Hello and welcome to the Animal Code. I'm Voight, and I will be your host for the next incredible hour of discovery and expansion into the world of all things animals. And even though I am connecting with you from my studio in Madison, Wisconsin of the United States, know that my love and commitment to your process of opening to the animal code within you reaches out from me to all over the globe. I couldn't be more pleased to share the ancient wisdom of the animals with you, such as healing and communication with animals in your own home, from dogs and cats to the animals outside your door, the dolphins and the whales, the tigers, and even such studies as the ancient power animals. I will also be diving into the area of how we as humans can learn to unleash and open our blocks to communication with animals on a deeper, more profound level, and therefore, I believe, healing and uniting our world. I am not only your host of the Animal Code, but I'm also an author, teacher, intuitive life guide for people. So please go ahead and visit my website where you can download a free MP3 file that will help you learn how to communicate with animals. And my website is asiavoight.com. And that's spelled ASIAVOIGHT.com. So once again, thank you to those of you listening live and to those of you on the replay of this show. I'm very excited to be here with you today. And now I'm just so excited to have here with me today a beautiful, beautiful guest. I mean, beautiful in her heart and beautiful in her face, and so I would love you to learn more about her, and her name is Michelle Buchanan, and she is the author of the Numerology Guidebook and Numerology Guidance Cards. Now, Michelle has been studying numerology for more than 20 years, and she was also formerly the spiritual counselor for Women's Day magazine in New Zealand, as well as the resident numerologist for television New Zealand's Good Morning. Michelle provides personal readings, workshops, and seminars to clients all over the world. And she is also a dedicated mother of 2 young children and a dedicated mother of her 4-legged child, a Cairn Terrier pup, and she is based in New Zealand. You can find out more information on her website, which is her first and last name, and that's spelled MICHELLEBUCHANAN.co.nz. All right, and everyone, please welcome Michelle to the show. Hello, Michelle.
Hello. Oh, Asia, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, from the first moment I ever saw your Movers and Shakers video on the Hay House Movers and Shakers on YouTube, your video about you and Rocket, it made me cry, and I thought, this lady has got the most beautiful energy, and I'm so honoured to be on your show, so thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And I cannot wait to learn more about what you do, how you got started in numerology. And I know people are always asking me, I think it's kind of a similar thing, like, when did you start talking to animals? And so I kind of have that same interest in, and how does that come about, learning about numerology? Because certainly when I was growing up, I had never heard of it. I didn't know anyone who studied numbers, and it really wasn't until I was in my 20s that I even had the first, inkling of this type of work. So I would love for you to tell us how that got started for you.
Yeah, well, same sort of similar story to you, Asia. I grew up my mother was a strong believer in astrology, and she had all the Linda Goodman books. And so I was always open to those sorts of things, and I loved astrology. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s in America where a friend said to me, what do you think about numerology? And I said, well, I don't really know anything about it, but it sounds like a bit of rubbish to me, because it did. It sounded like, how could you say all these accurate things about you? I thought, fair enough, birth date I can understand with astrology and everything, but surely a name is just a fluke, a coincidence. And she said, look, I'd really like to gift you a reading with this amazing lady. This is when I lived in LA and when I was 21. And I went along and had a reading with this lady who knew nothing about me except my birth certificate name and my date of birth. And she told me so much information that wasn't only accurate, but what it did was it really hit home for me, because it showed me that I have a number, one of my numbers is my life path number. It's an 11, and we battle very deeply with self-doubt and insecurity, and that can literally hold us back and cripple us in life, and that's what I was dealing with at the time. So that information just, wow, it really hit home. The penny dropped. And after that reading, I went and I bought a book on numerology, and I started looking up the numbers of friends and family members just to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke, that there really was something in this. And, oh my goodness, I never looked back from that day, because it was just so accurate. If you understand everything there is to know about it, or a lot of it, rather than just one number, you take the whole chart into consideration, it's actually very accurate. And in terms of personal development, so for me it wasn't so much forecasting the future and knowing what's ahead that stimulated me the most or inspired me to learn more. It was mainly for personal development reasons. Really helped me to know who I was, to understand who I was, and to accept who I was, so that I could start to be friends with myself instead of beating myself up every day and holding myself back in life. And so because it did that for me, well, I so much, being the natural counselor type person that I am, I so much wanted to reach out and help other people do the same. And I didn't really want to go into a big psychology degree for years and learn counseling, and this was a quick way to be able to help people in a meaningful way without having to go to university or anything like that and study psychology or counseling. So I guess you could say it was meant to be, and it was like a life turning point for me, just even having that reading.
And I, in my mind, tend to get confused astrology and numerology. Like they just want to blend together in my mind. How do you describe to someone what are the differences between them?
Yeah, well, the difference is astrology is based on the planets and where the planets are in the solar system at the time you were born. And that's why they can be called the star signs, your star sign, where the planets were placed in the solar system at that time, that exact moment or minute you were born. And numerology is basically the science of numbers, where each number has its own set of personality traits. Each number is basically an energy pattern. And so each number between 1 and 9 has certain personality traits, where in astrology, each planet, each astrology sign has specific traits and tendencies. And so astrology relates to planets and the stars, and numerology relates to numbers, and each letter of the alphabet has a number that it corresponds to.
So, I ended up changing my name after my severe car accident 25 years ago, And when they started calling me my birth name, which actually they didn't even call me my they actually have never been called my actual birth name. The short version of that is what I grew up with. And when I was in the hospital and they started calling me by that name, I just started turning away from them. I just was like waving my hand in front of their face, like, stop calling me that.
Wow, it's like you'd grown out of that energy.
Yeah, it's just not my name at all. And I'm thinking when my new name came to be birthed, which I actually kind of rhymed it out of my birth name, was Asia. I really wish that I would have worked with you 25 years ago. Maybe I need another new name.
Check it out. You did the right thing, Asia. You did the right thing. See, this is what people don't realize, and this is what I make really clear in my book. You've got to always go with your intuition first, you see. Intuitively, you knew that other name didn't suit you anymore, that you felt a strong desire, a pull towards this new name, Asia. And that's intuitive. That comes from your higher self. And so here's the thing, when you are changing a name or thinking about should I take on a married name or should I go back to my maiden name after divorce, if you're ever reviewing a name, whether it's for yourself or whether it's for a baby or an animal, always trust your intuition first, because your higher self is telling you what you need to do, what is right for you. When you bring the numbers in, and this is funny because this is kind of the opposite of what a lot of other numerologists believe. They're like, oh no, it's all about the numbers. Work the numbers out before you choose a name. But here's the thing. Your ego mind will tell you what it wants to have happen or what it thinks is the best or what it thinks is the most ideal number from an ego or a mind point of view. Whereas only your higher self, only your intuition can tell you through a strong feeling or a strong knowing what name is better suited, because only your higher self knows what's in store in the years to come. Your logical mind has no idea what growth your soul needs or which experiences your soul needs to attract in its life for where it's about to go. So you did it the right way around, you see. You actually did it the right way without looking at the numbers first. You had a name and you went with that name, and now I can tell you that it's a great choice because Asia Voight adds up to a 3, and that fits perfectly with your existing numbers in your chart from your original birth certificate name, and it works perfectly for the work you do in the world. It's about raising the love vibration and bringing joy into the world, especially through creativity or communication, and that's exactly what you're doing. So how's that? So you're pretty on the money, aren't you, girl?
Yay! Well, because I know so many people who are listening here would definitely want to pick a name or have the energy of a name that would be creating love, opening their intuition, getting their message out into the world. Really, these are the themes of those who are listening. So really, you're saying trust your intuition first, then check it out with the numbers.
That's right. So what I say to my clients is, and what I say in the book is, have some numbers that intuitively feel right for you, that feel like they energetically fit. So, for example, when you say that name, and this applies to animals as well, does that name feel like it fits? When you say it, do you feel emotionally good? Or are you trying to make something fit? When you say it, does it resonate with you? Does it feel good? When you write it down, does it visually look like it fits? And then you might have one name, or you may have several names that you resonate with. In that case, then it's smart to look at the numbers maybe and to have a look at them and say, oh, that one's a 7 and that means, spiritual learning and teaching, and that would suit where I'm about to go. And you might say, oh, this one over here, that's a 4. That's going to anchor me and ground me and make me able to persevere a lot more, but it might give me a bit more, a few more challenges. Do I really want that 4? And sort of sit down with that. So I always recommend have your names first and then look at the numbers, rather than look at the numbers and get the answers of what each number means and then try and find names that fit that number. You see what I mean? Like if you think about the amount of work that's involved, does that feel like a natural progression of the soul? It sounds a bit more manipulative, doesn't it, in a way, to try and make something work. But the thing is, each number has goods and bad, good points and bad points, strengths and challenges. And so you may think, oh, I want that number because it's an 8 and it might, it could increase my financial situation. But at the same time, it can also bring major karmic life lessons as well. So there's a plus and minus to everything. But in saying that, there are some numbers that do represent, teaching, like you were saying. People that are listening have certain things they would like to accomplish. One is, for example, spiritual learning and spiritual teaching. There are several numbers, number 7, number 11, number 22, and even number 5 to a certain extent is a good teacher for communication and getting your message out there. Number 3, number 5, number 11 again. For love, the love number or the nurturer or the healer or the teacher, number 6, number 9, number 11. And so you can have several different numbers that still have the same abilities in different ways. And so that's good in a way, because it opens up our options for the numbers, that there isn't just only one number that can achieve a goal. There are several. And also, you may not have that particular number in your name that you use on a daily basis, but numerology also applies to forecasting and timing and cycles that we have in our life. And so although you may not have that number that you want in your name, you may be in that particular number energy for a block of time in your cycle numbers from your chart. So that's interesting to know as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm hearing you say, too, is that this numerology work that you're doing can be applied to animals as well as people.
Absolutely, and it can also even be applied to the title of, to the name of a band, or the title of a product or a book, or even the title of your workshop. You may have a workshop, and you can look up the numbers of that. The numerology can be applied to homes and to dates for life events, and lots of different areas. So it's a really interesting subject.
Oh, I love that. I'm working on the name of some new products, so I'm going to have to hook up with you after this about that information.
And remember, go with your intuition first. Always go with your intuition first, because your soul knows what you need, you see. Your soul knows what experiences you need to attract to you for you to progress along your life's mission.
Mm-hmm. So you've already told us some of the numbers and what they mean. Is there really an exact lucky number? I mean, when I was growing up, now I'm thinking about this, I remember actually 3 and 6. I would always say those are my lucky numbers when I was real young. And then when I was in grade school, I was on the basketball team, like in 7th and 8th grade, and my number was 11. And I always thought, that's my number. Then I switched to my favorite number, my lucky number being number 11. So I actually forgot that until this moment. So does each person have their own lucky number, or you said there's kind of numbers that generally evoke certain energies? How did that start? Where did that come about?
That's a really good question, because lucky numbers, or whether it's my lucky rabbit's foot or a lucky coin or anything, it's really more to do with what we believe about that lucky number or lucky item that makes it lucky for us. It's more along the lines of the law of attraction rather than the actual vibration itself of the number or of the item. It's what we believe about it that makes it so. So if you believe that 11 is your lucky number, then just believing that can attract fortunate circumstances to you based on that number. And so there isn't such a thing as a lucky number as such. So, for example, there's no such thing in numerology to say that a number 8, for example, is lucky. But what people tend to do is for example, you said when you were younger you resonated with lucky number 3 and lucky number 6. And it's funny because, this may have even been before you had the name Asia Voight, which is a 3. But your destiny number, from your original birth certificate name that existed from the minute that name was chosen and recorded for you, is a 6. And so, maybe intuitively you resonated with that because it is and you're born on the 15th of the month, which is a 6. So you're born on a 15-6. Your destiny number is a 6. Your maturity number is a 6. So there's a lot of number 6 in your actual chart. Maybe on some level you're intuitively resonating with that. And some people can look at their life path number, for example, which is one of the main numbers in a numerology chart, which is the total of the birth date. And whatever that number may be, some people feel that's their lucky number when they realize what that is. They're like, oh, well, that's my lucky number now. So it's more about what you believe. If you believe that number is lucky for you or another number is unlucky, then you can manifest that simply by what you believe.
Well, that is very interesting that I had no idea, of course, when I was like 7. Consciously, I didn't know where I had come up with 3 and 6 were my numbers, but now I got that feedback on that. That is really cool.
Yeah, they're beautiful numbers too.
Oh, that's great. Well, I need to do a little commercial break here, and then we're going to come back with some more stuff, and Michelle is going to be doing a little reading on my horse, Magic. So before we get to that, I want to remind everyone that being on the Awakening Zone is free. It's free for you to listen, and it's free as me as a host. So in order to keep that, we would love for you to visit the Awakening Zone store and the Awakening Zone Academy, where they have classes and events and products that you can purchase. So please check that out on the awakeningzone.com website. And I also wanted to let you know that following my show is the amazing and wonderful Sandy Sedgbeer, and she is on at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please keep listening to the Awakening Zone and also check out Sandy Sedgbeer, who will be following me on Thursdays, again at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, so welcome back, my wonderful guest today, and this is Michelle Buchanan, and she is a New Zealand numerologist expert, and she is, and congratulations, is going to be having a new oracle cards coming out with Hay House Publishing the beginning of December in 2013. You can also check out her website, to find out about her events and personal readings, and that is MicheleBuchanan.co.nz. All right, Michelle, welcome once again. Yeah. For the second half of our time together. So you were talking about how learning about numbers from a person's name and from their birthday can help you understand them, and also, like my dear horse, Magic. So we would love to hear about what you have come up with his information, his numbers, and his name.
Absolutely. Well, Magic. Oh, Magic. I just want to give Magic a snuggle. Magic is born on the 17th of May, 2000. And what I've done is I've calculated up the numbers for Magic's birth date. And what I'll do is I'm just going to share with you how I calculated that number so that at least everybody that's listening can learn how to calculate one of the main numbers in numerology, which is called the life path number. And how we do that is we get the birth date, and we're basically going to put a little plus in between each individual number of that birth date. So in Magic's case, we are going to go 5. Okay, we're going to start with 5, and it's funny because in New Zealand or the rest of the world, we have the day and month of a birthday round the other way. So when I'm talking to people in America, I need to make sure I do it the right way, your way. So we would go 5 plus 1 plus 7 plus 2, and obviously plus 0, 0, 0, which makes that a total of 15. Okay, so Magic's birthday. Now we're always going to break any double-digit numbers down to a single number by adding them together, unless, of course, those double numbers add up to 11 or 22. Then we would keep it 11 or 22, but it would be called an 11-2 or a 22-4. So in Magic's case, his birth date adds up to 15, and we add that together, and we make it a 6. Now, if you really want to be thorough, he would be called a 15-6, okay, which is a bit different from, say, a 24-6 or a 33-6. He's a 15-6. Now, with relation to you, Asia, who was actually born on the 15th of October 1964, what's the very first thing that comes into mind with regards to your numbers and Magic? With that 15-6 that his birthday adds up to, what jumps into your mind with relation to you and your birth date?
The similarities, the 15th.
Well, you're born on the 15th. You're born on the 15th.
Yeah.
So you're a 15-6 day born. So the day of the month that you were born on, because the day of the month that we're born on is a number as well. And in Magic's case, he's born on the 17th. You're born on the 15th. But already in your charts, there is that 15-6 you have in common. So you both got that 15-6. Now, here's another amazing piece of information. Is your original birth certificate name adds up to a 6. And I think I told you that just before the break, that your destiny number, which never changes, by the way. So when we change our name, we don't wipe out our existing destiny numbers. What happens is we may adopt a new number that works alongside our existing numbers. So it never wipes it out. It just joins the group of other numbers, if you like, with a new energy that comes into the mix. Now, your destiny number, which is the total of your birth certificate name, is a 6. And you know what? Magic adds up to a 6. So you and Magic have the same destiny number. Now, it's interesting. So that's what's in common with you two. And Magic, as his own, he's a 6 life path with a 6 destiny. So he's a double 6, because the total of your birth certificate name and the total of your birth date, those are the two strongest, most dominant energies in your chart. And he is a double 6. And that means 6 is the loving, nurturing, strong feminine energy. Like, I know he's a male, and it's female energy because it's such a nurturing, healing energy, but it's a strong masculine feminine, if you like. Whereas a number 2 or a Cancer is that feminine, nurturing, healing female energy, soft. The 6 is a feminine, healing energy, but it's strong, masculine strength, action. So Magic will have a strength about him, and he's born on the 17th, which is an 8, which is a very regal energy, like a very strong leadership kind of, you can lean on me, I'm going to take care of us type energy. But the 6 is more the healing side. So I would say that both you, because you both have that 6 energy, you would have helped a lot with healing him in his life, but he's done a lot with healing you.
Yes, and I always, so good. This is so good. Oh my gosh, this really works. And I always tell people I've cried the most about 2 beings in my life. One was about my own mother and the challenges with her, and the other one is about Magic. And and it was really, for him, it was more of a healing, definitely healing, and some of it challenging, but all about healing. So, oh my gosh, that makes total sense. So this is really great that if you right now want to figure out the number of your animal companion, then you need the month and the date. And so, and then
so what you're going to do is,
together.
you get the birth date, and so you'll get the whole birth date, and basically you put a little plus in between each of the individual numbers. So, for example, if you had the birth date, the January the 19th, 1982, then you would go 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 2. And then you would add the double number together if you end up with a double number, because sometimes you can end up with a single number, but in most cases it's a double number. In this case it's 31. You would add that 3 and 1 together to get a 4. And so that you will end up with a number between 1 and 9, or you could end up with an 11 or a 22. And that's one way to calculate. That's one number to look at, and that's called the life path number. And that's probably the most dominant energy in the chart. But following close behind is another number that works alongside that life path number. That's very important, and that is from the name. So if you were going to be doing it for a human being, you would, to get an accurate reading for someone, you need the original birth certificate name and the current first and last name that is used on a daily basis, because that name is the name that you're addressing, sending to the world. That's got a vibration also. And that's what I mean about your original birth certificate name may not be the same, and you may not go out to the world saying your full original birth certificate name. But that destiny number that comes from that original birth certificate name is always there in your life. It never goes, even when you change your name. But to get an accurate reading, you want to look at your first and surname that you use on a daily basis. And I'll give the listeners a little way to calculate that number. If you get a piece of paper, and you don't have to do it now, you can refer back to the recording of this reading. But what you would do is you would get a piece of paper, and at the top of the paper you would write in a row and leave plenty of space between each number so they don't get all munched up. You'd write numbers 1 to 9, write numbers 1 across to 9 at the top of the page. Then you would begin by placing the first letter of the alphabet under the letter 1. So A goes under 1, B goes under 2, C goes under 3, and so on until I goes under 9. Then when you get to the letter J, you then go all the way back to number 1, J under 1, K under 2, L under 3, until you get to letter R, which is under 9. Then we start with S, and S, of course, goes right back to 1 again. S under 1, T under 2, U under 3, right through until Z is under number 8. And that's the Pythagorean, or the Western Pythagorean numerology letters and numbers chart. And when you've got that little chart made up, then you would get your original birth certificate name, you'd write that along on a piece of paper with plenty of space in between each letter, and you would match those corresponding numbers to each letter. And then you would total them all up. And then you would get a big chunky number, and you would add all those numbers together. Let's say the number you came up with was 102. And you would go 1 plus 0 plus 2, which would be 3, which would make you a 3 destiny number. If you ended up with 54, then 5 plus 4 would be 9. Does that make sense, Asia?
Yes, this is excellent information. So they can do this with their names, with their pet's name, their dog, their cat, their horse.
Yes, some people with animals, there is a registered breeder's name. In some cases it's not always the same name that they use on a daily basis. So obviously for the pet, the strongest vibration for an animal is the name that's used on a daily basis. So if your dog was originally registered by the breeder as Sir Lancelot, but you call him Bobby on a daily basis, you'd want to calculate the numbers for both Sir Lancelot and Bobby, but obviously Bobby you call him all the time. That sometimes with the names that are registered or from breeders or even a show name may be different from the name you call an animal at home. So calculate the numbers for both to get an accurate feeling or reading for that animal. And that's the same with people. You calculate your birth certificate name, get that number, and then you calculate the numbers for the name, the first and last name that you use on a daily basis today. And then you get the full picture. Now, I don't want to confuse you too much, but there are a couple of other numbers that you need if you wanted to do a proper reading, and that would be where you would total just the vowels of those names. That's the soul number, otherwise known as the soul's urge or the heart's desire. And then you would even calculate the consonants in those names, and that number's called the personality number, and so on and so on. But I don't want to confuse you guys too much because there's just a lot of information to take on, isn't there, with numerology, and I want to keep it quite easy and simple for you guys to understand. So yes, that's what you would do. So for the animal, you would do the birth date, the way I told you, and also the name with the letters and numbers chart that I've given you.
Well, beautiful. Now, we have some callers on the line. I'm going to go ahead and bring them one at a time off mute. Okay, so we have calling, the first caller is from Green Bay, Wisconsin. So,
and the name?
So, Ted, you are off mute. Hello, who's there?
Hello.
Hi, is this Chris?
Oh, okay.
Is that Chris?
Chris, okay, great. All right,
hey, Chris, how you doing?
You said Green Bay.
Okay, yes, Green Bay. So Michelle can work with you now, and you have her information?
I sure do. So, Chris, are you born on the 25th of August, 1952?
Yes,
Lovely. Now, you've already given me your full birth certificate name and the name you use on a daily basis, so I don't need to get you to repeat that. I've already calculated your numbers here. Now, the first number I'm going to tell you about is interesting for you because it's exactly the same number as your full birth certificate name number or your destiny number as well. So what that means is when we have the same life path number, which is the total of our birth date, as well as the same destiny number, which is the total of our birth certificate name. It's just that your soul said when it came here, before it said, I'm going to come and I really want to work on that 5 energy because you're a 5 life path and a 5 destiny. So when you have the same number, it just emphasizes that energy simply for the reason that your soul said, hey, I don't need to go off in all these other directions and learn all these other things. I just want to focus in this one area and really get it down pat this time. And that 5 says that you are the freedom-loving adventurer. Okay, so that says straight away that you've come here to squash in as much life experience as you possibly can stuff into one life. Does that ring true to you? Have you felt like you've lived a lot and that you've still got a lot of living to do?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. With that 5, it says that communication is one of your strong points. You are here to experience a lot of different things in this life, especially to do with life experience and people. Because what is going to happen with you, or what has happened, is you've seen a lot, you've done a lot. You may find it hard to just focus on the one area. You need stimulation. You may get bored. You need your freedom to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You're very smart. But you're here to experience a lot so that you can then learn from that. But what you're here to do is not just keep that information for yourself. You were born to pass that information out to the world or onto others or people that you interact with. Are you a natural person that is able to provide information to others, whether it's, oh my God, everybody, I've just learnt this amazing new thing or read this amazing book, you have to know about it. Are you like a bit of a promoter of things that you may have experienced or learned and you really want to give that information to other people?
I guess I feel more like that's kind of bragging, and so then I don't do that unless about it.
No, I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're saying. You're saying, I don't want to be that whole been there, done that kind of thing and then talk about it. I mean, you literally have been there and done that and you have learnt from things and you are here to pass that knowledge and wisdom on to other people. Whether it's your family or whether it's your friends or circle of friends, do you do that? Whether it might be something like, I've just found an amazing recipe for lemon meringue pie. You have to know about it. Are you an information provider amongst your friends and circle or family?
If they ask the question, I do.
Okay, so you're a bit held back. So has there been prior experiences in your life where you felt that you've had to keep your mouth shut? Have you been told not to speak up when you were younger or?
Not that I remember.
Okay, it's very interesting because the 5, I mean, put it this way, I've never had anyone ever with a double 5 that's not been the one that's here to give the information to the people because that's part of your life purpose. Are you able to teach people things they don't already know?
Yes.
Okay, because you are a natural teacher as well. You're a 6 hearts desire, which means that you're naturally a caregiver. You enjoy helping other people where you can. Have you worked in a service-based job where it's, what can I do for you, how can I help you?
No.
Okay. What do you do for work?
But I'm
tired now.
I'm going to jump in here, though.
Yeah, thanks, Asia, because I've never had anyone not be what their numbers say they are in all the years I've done reading, so it's very unusual.
Because I do know Chris, and she actually has been a long-time client of mine, and I find this to be so perfect, Michelle, and so wonderful because, Chris, and I know it's okay for me to say this, but because we know each other so well and for so long, is that you have so many adventures. You have so much information. You really do. You have experiences that no one else, like I know, has.
Yeah, it's a life experience number. Amazing things can happen, but good and bad for 5.
Yes.
Like all kinds of stuff. Like there's always a lot of things that have happened, that were going to happen, that are happening. Like it's a busy number that's here to have a lot of life experience, and that 5 person will learn and grow from all of those things. But they're not just to keep that learning or growth or information or knowledge to themselves. They're here to pass it on.
Yeah, and that's the piece that really feels so important for you today, Chris, because you do hold that back. And like you said, you do, because you don't want to feel like, oh, I already know this, or bragging. You're not. See, this is part of your work. It's
valuable to the world, you see. It's valuable. I'm glad you said that, Asia, because what it is it's actually needed in the world. So let's say, for example, Chris might be at a shopping mall or in a line at the supermarket, and someone might say something like they might have a difficult child with them or something, and this is a hypothetical example, Chris may have been in that experience before, and that person might need a little bit of I found that if you distract them with this, then they behave better, or whatever it might be. And so Chris has been and done a lot that she has learnt things from, that she can pass that on to other people that need it, and that's part of her life purpose, is to be doing that. Yeah. And it's not showing off, but it's all about timing, and obviously there will be times where it's not appropriate to put your 5 cents worth in, and that may have happened in the past that may have caused Chris to maybe not do that so much, but she's meant to be doing that, and her information is so valuable to other people. That's what my point is. Like, this is needed in the world. Yeah. You know, this is needed.
Yeah, this is so perfect. Chris, I think this is so perfect for you, and Michelle, you really sharing it exactly right. So,
does Chris do any writing or journaling or noting things down of some of the things she's been through, like even if it's journaling for herself or for yourself, Chris?
No, I don't do much of that, actually.
Yeah, because you would have had a colourful life, and it was meant to be that way as well. There's no way with these numbers you were ever going to have a sit down, not go anywhere, not see the world, not experience anything, stay in the same place for there's a lot of things you were meant to happen. You're in a cycle of time right now where you are in a 7 pinnacle, and that means higher learning, spiritual wisdom, and because you're born on the 25th, which is a 7, a 25-7, and you're in a 7 pinnacle, which is a chunk of time from, until the rest of your days, there's a strong pull towards mind, body, spirit. For your own well-being, you may be getting right into meditation, or you may really be learning higher learning with regards to spirituality. And this is just going to grow and grow and grow from now until forever. So there's no holding you back. And because you're born on the 25th, which is a 7, that says that it gives you special abilities in those areas, especially with regards to teaching and passing on what you've learned.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's move on. Good job.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right. And then we have another caller from Illinois. And go ahead. You are off mute. And state your name, please.
This is Deb.
Hey, Deb, how are you?
I'm good, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, Deb, may I confirm your birth date with you?
Yes.
Are you the 8th of January, 1956?
That's correct.
Lovely. Excellent. Now, that makes you what is called a 3 life path. And it's interesting because the 3 life path is what I call the creative self-expressive. You're 3, and that's funny because that's the number 3. Asia Voight is a number 3. That number is a 3 also. And the 3 is here to communicate or to express themselves to the world either through communication or through creativity. Now, this can be applied to anything from literally speaking or writing to expressing yourself through art or through pottery or through cooking or through gardening. Do you do anything creative, even if it's in a personal way?
No, I don't.
You don't do anything, not even cooking or, like getting creative with the garden or... here's another thing. Have you got a flair for putting things together, maybe the way you dress with colours or even the way you decorate your home?
The way I dress. I have to be color coordinated, and I'm one of these that if the living room isn't right this way, I have to put it the way it needs to be.
Absolutely, and that's partly because you're a 4 hearts desire, which is otherwise called the soul number, and the 4 is very meticulous and very methodical and organized and likes everything just so, and if it isn't, it's almost like you feel it emotionally. Do you know, like if you were about to, you walk into the room and everything's not quite the way you want it to be, it's not very easy for you to just go, oh, to hell with it and not worry. It's like you emotionally feel it in your stomach, like, I can't relax and feel good until I know that everything's in its place.
That's right.
And that's your 4, and it's interesting because that 4 of yours really needs physical and emotional stability and financial stability as well to feel safe and secure. I mean, who doesn't? But it's actually very important for the 4. And it's funny because the 3 life path that you've got is a little bit of a play now, pay later, which it can be, sometimes you might feel like you're 2 different people. You might feel like you've got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. The angel going, save your money, build things up, let's get organised, let's make sure that everything's stable. And then the 3 is like, oh, can't we just go and do something fun? With that 3 life path, though, there are 3 kinds of 3s and the way they express themselves creatively, okay? So when you said before that you're not creative, let me ask you this question as a follow-up. Some 3, well, I'll start with a little statement before the question. Some 3s are creatively gifted artistically. So they might be, like I said, the creative people, from jewelry making to painting to designing a website or whatever it may be. The second are creatively gifted with ideas, okay? So they might be, these are hypothetical examples, designers or architects. They get their creativity in their mind. So they may come up with a marketing concept or something to do with that's creative from the mind. Then there are other creative 3s that are creatively gifted with words. So although you say, I'm not artistically creative and I'm not really creative in the garden or with food or anything like that, you love colours and you're good at putting yourself together, so you might have a good vision. But are you creatively gifted with words? And what that means is, do you have an ability to say things that uplift people and do things verbally that bring joy into the world in some way? And it can be just simply complimenting someone.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you're verbally creative. So that means, and do you enjoy, if you feel comfortable in your surroundings and you're with people do you enjoy a good yak? A yak, I don't know if you say that in America, but we do here. A good chat.
Yes, I do.
You're a big talker around people you feel comfortable with.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
So you're 3, you express yourself creatively as a 3 through the verbal things you say.
Okay,
and that means that because of the 3 and the verbal side means you have to be aware that everything you say is an affirmation. So when you're saying things to yourself, you need to be aware that they are affirmations, and so you need to make sure that the things you say are going to help you in life rather than pull you down. Because a 3 is a number that has so much potential. It's like a shining bright light. 3 are the joy bringer. They say a 3 walks in the room and you know it. It's like they're glowing. And they love colours, and they usually are very well at putting themselves together, very good at that. And they do usually like bright colours and colours. And the 3, sorry, I've got a dog chewing a bone at the moment in the background. It's on a wooden floor. It's making quite a big noise. It sounds like a drum or something. I hope it's not causing too much trouble at your end.
We can hear.
But that 3... with the verbal, you have a gift for bringing joy into the world through the things you say. And so that's why things like journaling is really important for a 3 as well, to get out what you need to say. It's not good for you to hold things in. But 3s do battle with self-doubt. 3s will say, I can do it. Your very first thought will be, I can do it. And then straight away it's followed up with, oh, God, I hope I can do it.
Okay.
So how are you with your self-doubt? Is that under control?
It is now. There was a time where it didn't used to be, but it is much, much better now.
That's fantastic. Now, you are in a cycle of 8, and you're born on the 8th, which is to do with money, business, and career. Do you work for yourself?
We do. My husband and I own our restaurant.
Excellent. Oh, my goodness. So you're in the restaurant industry?
Yes.
Okay, so even though you're not cooking, obviously, but do you have a say in what the design of the restaurant looks like, for example, or the decor or anything like that, the colours that are used, the way the menus are designed?
Yes, I do. And then getting back to the verbally, of course, I'm very cordial and outgoing with the customers.
Great. See, that's so you. And they would feel like that they're welcome when they come in if they see your beautiful, bubbly face. Absolutely. It's a great industry. Yes. 3 is a very social number, but your 4 likes its peace and quiet as well. So when you're not doing that busy interacting with the clients and in the restaurant, you really like your quiet time to just be, to be serious, to be not having to put a big happy face on, to just be yourself.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you're in a personal year of 6, and so what happens with numerology is one of the numbers that's a cycle number that tells us what's going on around us is called the personal year number, and that number is 1 year long. It lasts in our life for 1 year. Some people believe this number, the personal year number, commences on January the 1st. Others believe it's on the birthday. But lucky for you, you're born in January, so it doesn't matter either way. You're definitely in a personal year 6 this year. And the 6 is all about relationships, family, domestic responsibilities. So with your own home and family and relationships, you might feel this year that you're in more demand than, those things will need your attention more than they do any other year. Or even sometimes it can mean that the home needs more attention. There may be things that may need to be done with the actual home itself. Have you found that there might be family things or relationship things or things that have come up that just need to be addressed?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we just had our family reunion on Saturday, and I've had relation here from California since last Wednesday, so that's right on. And of course, there's always upkeep on the home.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's a perfect time to have a family reunion, by the way, isn't a 6 energy, because 6 represents the family and relationships and domestics responsibilities and all of that kind of stuff. Also, you're in a cycle of 8, so there is a lot of emphasis going to be on the business, on looking at extra ways to generate an income, on focusing on how to expand the business or how to just keep things going really, really well. But there will be opportunities as well, so it's good. It's a chunk of time where there is a focus on that 8 energy, which is all money, business, and career. There will be new opportunities coming up as well. You are a 9 destiny, okay, and that's funny because it's the same. There's another lady, Jackie, that's on hold. She's a 9 destiny as well, and we'll try and get to her in a minute. But Asia is a 9 life path. So you and Asia share that 9 energy, and so does Jackie with the 9 destiny also. That's that compassionate humanitarian. So that's that side of you that has that feeling within you that says, oh, God, I'd love to make a difference in the world. I'd love to do something for the community, or I'd love to be able to lie awake in bed at night and say, I've done good. I've done something that's made a difference in some way. It's the same number that Louise Hay has. It's the same number that Gandhi and Mother Teresa have. It's that compassionate humanitarian that says, I really need to do something here. And in fact, it's that side of you that when you watch the news and see how awful life can be, that it breaks your heart. That you really want to fight for the underdog, you really want to feel like you're not just sitting on your butt, tutting and tooting, you're actually saying, I'm going to do something in some way. And so that's that 9, that's your destiny. You were destined to be doing this. And it's funny because, you'll be working in the restaurant or interacting with people in your social life or whatever, and you think, oh, well, but the things you'll do, even if it's something small, like a 3 would give someone a compliment. A 3 would say, gee, that colour looks beautiful on you. You look lovely today, say to one of your clients. And that really makes their day. And you think, well, God, that's not really feeding the starving children in Africa. It's just giving someone a compliment, but it raises their vibration. And every little bit does something to raise the vibration of the whole. And so it may not seem like anything big or significant, but it's making a difference in some way. And whichever way you choose to do it is relevant, and it doesn't matter how, but you will always find a way with these numbers you have. You are destined to do this.
Okay,
so
great.
With that creativity thing, even if it's writing or the way you put colours together or whatever, you do have a gift in that area, so don't disregard it. It's definitely there. It's just a lot of the time, none of us have the time to do things like that. We're too busy with life.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
So you're welcome, Deb.
All right, great. And let's sneak in here our last caller from Madison, Wisconsin. Jackie, go ahead.
Thank you.
Jackie. How are you, Jackie?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Oh, goodness, sorry about this. My dog has just decided that he's going to start barking. So, do you guys in America, you do crate training, don't you?
Yes.
You know that crate training? Because I've never had a dog, you see, until a year ago, and I thought I'd buy a dog for the kids. And a psychic friend of mine, I've never had a dog ever, psychic friend of mine said, oh, Michelle, that's a great idea. This dog's going to be wonderful for you. And I said, why me? It's for the kids. I'm a single mum with 2 young kids. And she said, oh, no, he's going to be great for you. And he is. He's like my best friend. And I know you're not supposed to do it, but he sleeps under the covers in the bed with me every night. He's the best little friend. He's amazing. But hear me with a big kind heart. Did crate training with him, and that was fine till he got toilet trained, and that was great. And I had this beautiful crate. Well, the principal, or the headmaster at my children's primary school, or elementary school, I think you guys call it over there, took a shining to Teddy, that's my puppy, so much that she bought her own Ken Terrier puppy. And I, of course, gave her my crate so that she wouldn't have to buy one of her own to save her money, not realising that there are times where I'm going to be on the radio or doing something important where I need the dog to be crated so that it doesn't cause trouble. And so there you go. There's the story. He's got a bone, but the bone, he must be at the bottom of it because he's causing a bit of trouble. So sorry about the barking in the background. I don't have a crate to put him in and shut him up because I gave it away out the kindness of my heart. But back to Jackie. How much time do we have, Asia, so I don't go over your thing
We have about 5 more minutes. So.
Great, that's great. Yeah. All right, Jackie, well, the cool thing about you, darling, please may I confirm that you're the 2nd of June, 1960?
Yes, ma'am.
Lovely. Now, you've got some beautiful numbers here, Jackie.
Oh.
You've already heard me talk about the number 6 and the number 9, and I'll just refresh your memory. You are a life path number 6, which is a destiny number that Asia has, and it's also the 6 that Magic has, and so also the soul number that Chris has. And so you may have heard me talk about the 6. It's the loving, responsible carer of all. So it's that side of you that's a bit of a mother hen, a bit of a do anything for anybody, but sometimes feel like you're not being, giving, or doing enough. Do you feel that? Do you feel like you're such a service-oriented person and you measure yourself to such a high standard that there will be times where you've had to train yourself to sort of be able to accept that what you've done and what you've given and what you are is enough, that you don't have to break your back, that there comes a time where you have to have a boundary that says, time for them, time for me.
Absolutely. I've been a registered nurse for 30 years.
Perfect job for you. Oh, my God, I've got goosebumps.
I have 6 siblings, and since my parents passed, I've kind of become the mother to all of my siblings, and I volunteer at the Humane Society.
That's so you, and let me tell you what your numbers are. You're a 6 life path, you're a 9 destiny, that Mother Teresa number. You're born on the 2nd of the month, and I know it's naughty to have a favourite, but number 2 is my favourite number. It's called the Cooperative Peacemaker, and they're here to basically bring peace amongst other people. So when people are bickering and arguing, you play the negotiator, the middle person a lot of the time, to try and sort of create balance and peace amongst others. You've got that 3 soul number. The number 3, I said before, that was the life path number of Deb, that creative, self-expressive, that beautiful shining light that just sparkles, and that's here to bring joy in the world. That's your soul number. Aww. Your personality is a number 6. Your maturity number is a number 6. And the name Jackie that you use on a day-to-day basis, your first and last name is a number 3. So all your numbers are all the service, nurturing, healing, caring, motherly, bringing joy into the world and creating peace and cooperation amongst other people. They're such beautiful numbers. They really, really are, and it's just making sure that you know where another ends and you begin, so that you can make sure you put time aside for you, that you make sure that you define your personal limits and boundaries, because in your life you've really had to learn to say no. That's very difficult for you. You also have to learn to receive. You're so busy giving and you find it very awkward when people are saying, you know, can you take a compliment now?
Not very well.
And that's okay. See, these are life lessons, and life lessons can sometimes take an entire lifetime to master, and that's perfectly fine. The main thing is that you're aware of the things that you need to work on, which for you, sweetheart, are really quite simple. They're not big major things. They're just simply making sure you have enough time for yourself, for your own well-being, and so that you can be balanced in life, and that you know that, and see, here's another thing with you with these numbers, you know, especially with your children and family members that you really care about, you feel their pain and you want to fix their problems for them. Mm-hmm. And so with these numbers, you've had to learn to sit back and maybe let them fall on their face a few times, because that's how they're going to learn and grow. They won't learn and progress as efficiently as they would if you're fixing everything for them.
That's true.
So it's about learning about that, which has been hard for you. But as a nurse, my God, I mean, put it this way, if I had have had these numbers in front of me and said, and it's in my book even, about career choices for the numbers, that nurse is one of the career choices that these numbers would make. Others are counsellors, healers. Do you practice any other forms outside of your actual career, whether it's learning healing or that kind of thing?
Well, I'm trying to learn animal communication with Asia, because I would like to be able to communicate with the shelter animals that I work with so that I can help them more.
Oh, and you work with shelter animals?
Yes.
Oh, I would love to be one of those sheltered animals. You are just amazing. Honestly, I bet you another thing with the numbers that you've got too is animals do like you. Like, you could go to someone's house and sit on the couch. A cat will jump on your lap. Like, you know, You're totally in the right place. And has this been a bit of a challenging year though, this year?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned about my health, and I'm going to find out some things tomorrow.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. You're in a 16-7 essence, which can mean just a bit of life, you know, a lesson to learn that can be a bit of a challenge to learn it. But here's the thing. It's possible. And if you have the mindset, the right mindset, I can do this, I can get through this, it's going to be okay. You are going to be okay. Good. You totally are going to be okay. So it's up here, okay? It's up in the mind. It's up in the mind. There's just a little bit of a hurdle that's going on right now where you have to take a big step, and your success is dependent upon what you believe. And you're in a 5-year, and a 5-year means change. It means that your life will be plodding along a certain way, and then boom, there's a change. 5, if you look at the numbers between 1 and 9, 5 is right in the middle. So it's where everything gets thrown up in the air and changed around. But here's the cool thing about number 5 in a personal year. It means that opportunities can come from unknown sources. Miracles can happen. Freaky things can happen. So if you believe that, and you believe, wow, this is a really exciting year for me, I'm really going to progress a lot this year, you will, okay?
Great.
All right? Now, I'll give you my website. Well, you've already got my website, but I want you to go on there, all of you, and email. It says, contact Michelle, you 3 ladies, Jackie, Chris, Deb, and I'm going to email you a copy of your numbers, okay? It's a numerology software report, and it tells you all those numbers I said you've got, and it gives you a description, and it also tells you about the year that you're in. And so that if you email me, I can email you back with all of those reports.
Beautiful.
Okay, and also if you can, join me on Facebook. You know, like just find Michelle Buchanan. And if there's anything you need, you let me know, and I will send you some information, okay?
Wonderful.
I love you, right. Jackie. Can you be my mum?
I would love to come to New Zealand and be your mum.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
All right, great. Oh, my gosh, that was so amazing, Michelle. Thank you. I mean, really, clearly, looking at the numbers, which are the energy, which is exactly how I'm, communicating with animals, reading the energy, feeling the energy, using that through the numbers, really helps people understand, oh, I'm okay, this is where I'm supposed to be at, or, okay, I have a 5-year, there's going to be some challenges, I can handle it.
Some changes, absolutely.
Yeah, it helps your steps of life and help you understand the name. This is the name of my pet, and this would be maybe a better name, or this name that the breeder picked and has been calling this dog, or I got this dog at the shelter, and it's been there for 6 months, and they've been calling it Scout. Okay, what is this number about? This is going to help me, or do I pick Scout? And here's another dog that's been there for 8 months named Ginger. So helping you make the decisions, of course, following your intuition, but also adding another piece of vital information that they can find out in these numbers.
Yep, bringing them together. The intuition with the logic and blending them together is the ultimate combination. And like you said, numbers are just energy, and if you're working with energy, it's just a different aspect that you can pull in for added insight and information.
Well, beautiful. I want to thank you, Michelle, for being on the Animal Code.
And thank you for having me so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And for those of you who are interested in finding out more about Michelle, of course, go ahead and go to her website, which, again, her first and last name is MICHELLEBUCHANAN.co.nz, and you can also find that information on my website and more information about what I do, and I also do events and readings for people and their animal companions all over the world. And my website is AsiaVoigt.com, and that's ASIAVOIGHT. And so all of you listening out in the world, I send you all my blessings and my love for you to open your intuition, communicate with your animals, send out to your animals, yes, I desire to hear you, and for you to make that connection for love and understanding, which is healing the planet. I thank you for checking out the Awakening Zone. I also thank you for listening to my show, The Animal Code, and I'm on the third Thursday of each month at noon Central Time. And all my best to you. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to The Animal Code with Asia Voight. As the secret language of animals continues to be revealed. For more information about Asia Voight and her work, go to www.asiavoight.com. That's Asia Voight. ASIAVOIGHT. AsiaVoigt.com.
You've been listening to the Awakening Zone Radio Network, offering insights and inspiration for our evolving consciousness.